So, every city has its thing. You go to London, you might want to go see Big Ben. You can go to Australia, maybe Ayers Rock, hash bars in Amsterdam, the Blarney Stone in Ireland. And that's how I find myself on Pat Pong Road in the red light district in Bangkok, Thailand. And my guide on this adventure is another Canadian guy I had met along the way, and he looks exactly like John Lennon, the long-haired, round-glassed John Lennon. And the year is 1989. I know this because it was the year that Tango and Cash and Born on the 4th came out. And on the buildings in Thailand were Sylvester Stallone and Kurt Russell and Tom Cruise, but they kind of had more almond-shaped eyes, kind of more almond complexions. They were sort of like the Thai versions of themselves. And not that the person in front of you ever gets confused to being Tom Cruise. 25 years ago, when I was a traveling guy with my brush cut and my jeans and my white t-shirt, it was in the street of Thailand. Oh, Tom Cruise. I'm like, no, Tom Cruise. No, Tom Cruise. Okay. Signed a few autographs, not Tom Cruise, because you just got to do it and let him walk away. And so John Lennon's going to take me into the Thai bar, pun intended, in the red light district. And the thing about this bar that makes it kind of okay to go to was that the prostitutes in these bars weren't sold into this by their families. They're there voluntarily. They freelance. That's the good part. I'm told 3 things. Always check your beer tab. They come to you, you order a beer, and they come to you with a piece of paper, and on it's written 5 baht, and they show it to you, and you look at it, and then they put it in this cup that sits in front of you the rest of the night. And you have to check that each time, because the next time they come, that could be 10 baht, 30 baht, 75 baht, 300 baht. Doesn't matter if you don't look at it. At the end of the night, when the boss comes to collect it, whatever's on those chits, you have to pay. And you can't say, no, I thought they were 5 each. They don't care. So check your bar tab. Second rule is what I call the mento rule. Someone will join your conversation. They'll take out some mints. They'll have a mint. They'll pass one to someone else, and they'll go, oh, would you like one? And you go, everyone's had one, sure. The third one is laced. And you end up 2 hours later without your passport, without your money, waking up and trying to get your way home. And a third rule I've been given is that in these bars, if you buy someone a Coke or someone asks you to buy them a Coke, that is the beginning of the negotiation for a romantic interlude for money. So we get into the Thai bar, we get this booth, and John Lennon takes off, and this woman slides right in beside me and wraps around my arm, and she says, buy me a Coke. I'm terrified. I'm reminded of when my friends when I moved to Toronto, my friends would come and they'd want to drive down Jarvis, and Jarvis was the street that all the hookers were on. In my small town growing up, we didn't have hookers, and it was always that kind of weird world, but they wanted to drive, and they were fantastic. It was Star Wars bar, fantastic. My friends would come down with their faces pressed against the window and see latex boots up to here and leopard skins and zebra skins and teased out here. It looked like Phyllis Diller meets Cher at a Kiss concert. It was fantastic. And we just kind of stared out the windows at them. So now I've got this woman on my arm. She's, buy me a Coke. She sounds like Hervé Villachez. And I said, no, thank you. I don't want to look her in the eye. I'm afraid she's going to offer Mentos next. I'm just terrified. And then she's thinking that maybe I'm just not attractive, or maybe she's not exotic enough. So then she says, I'm from Berlin. Buy me a Coke. And I can't. I don't understand the Berlin. I just want her to leave. I just like, no. I said, no. Please. I just want to sit here. And she took it, and she gets out of the booth and just starts screaming at me in something other than German. She leaves, and John Lennon comes back, and now he's got 4 girls that he knows, because he's been in country for about 4 months, and he knows this place. And these are kind of like the girl next door cheerleader prostitutes. And the ringleader of the girls says, first time Bangkok? And I'm like, yes. And she goes, oh, we take care of you. And they did. Our table became a safe haven. They could leave their purses there. We kind of just became their way station, and they knew I was there to watch, but not partake. And now it's showtime. So in the Thai bar, the bar is like a hot dog shaped, and then the stage is inside that in a hot dog shape. So they're dancing inside the bar with the bartender between. But they bring out this trough. It's about 6 feet by 4 feet by about 4 inches deep. And these two women come out, and their hair's all done, and they do a strip tease, and then they turn the lights out, and they pour neon paint over their bodies, and they dance around in the paint meshes, and it's quite sexy. It's kind of fun. The second act, I can't remember because I was too busy looking around, just worrying about Mentos, my wallet. It's like, this is a distraction. So something's, I don't know what's going to happen, but I got to be ready. And in the third part, this woman comes out on stage, and she's kind of mulling around on the floor, cleaning things up. And she's got just a peasant slip dress on, no makeup, no hair, nothing. She's a little older than all the other girls there. And I thought she was just kind of the stagehand. And the lights come up, and then they introduce her, and this woman stands up, just drops her dress, and there's nothing to it, puts it over in the corner, like no dance. It was just boom. And she sits down on the stage, and she then takes out 4 or 5 different colored ping pong balls. And she then inserts them into her person. And then reproduces them in a different colored sequence than once they went in. Okay. Then the girls all run around, and they hand out balloons, and my girls make sure I get a balloon and start holding it up. And this same woman inserts a blow dart gun into her person and proceeds to blow dart the balloon. And she's very accurate. Yeah. The third part of her act, she takes out a piece of Bristol board and a magic marker, and she moves around for a little while, and then she produces the board, and it says, "Welcome to Thailand," and she's drawn a picture of a unicorn. At this point, I'm getting a little uncomfortable. I've kind of seen enough. I think I'm kind of in a little more trouble than I thought, because my mom had said when she heard I was going to be staying in Bangkok for a while, she says, "Oh, every sin in the world is available there." And yes, but I'm really kind of, I feel it's sort of, I'm trying to delicately walk through Sodom and Gomorrah, and I'm just waiting for the fucking fire and brimstone, because it's going to turn me into a pillar of salt because I'm looking. And she gets to the fourth part of her act, and the bartender pulls out this old beat up Petco animal cage, puts it on the stage, and she takes out this snake. And I'm really, now, I don't want to see this anymore. I want to go, all that's missing is the apple, if you want the original sin. And as if on cue, the bar explodes. There is this horrendous bang, and this concussion goes through. All the lights in the bar implode, and we're hurled into darkness. People start screaming and freaking out and running towards the one exit. Now, John Lennon and I, again, being two good Canadian boys, aware of the fleece, think this might just be a diversionary tactic. So we immediately grab our tabs, figuring someone's going to want to ask for the money, and we want to make sure we have what is ours. We grab our beer, and we place our feet kind of back against the wall, getting ready for any comers, because this is the perfect time for someone to make their move. Try and get our wallets or passports, what have you. And we wait. And the bar is probably, people screaming, bedlam going on, and no one comes and tries to steal from us. But the only light in the bar now is right beside where this wall has erupted. It's all the electronics. And there's just this wall of flame, and these 4 guys are trying to put it out. They're just in suits. They must have been the owners. And they're hitting it with bar towels. They're hitting it like, there's no fire extinguishers. There's no fire marshal in the red light district in Bangkok. And at one point, one of the guys, his pant leg starts on fire. It starts like here. And we're yelling, hey, hey! And he can't hear us. It's a kind of crazy bedlam. So I run over and I start hitting this man on his leg to put the fire out. And then he looks down at me like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm looking at him like, well, and we have this moment of, oh yeah, thanks, fire, yeah, gotcha. I stand back up and instantly my eyes start to burn. And I said to John, I said, this place is filling up with smoke, we gotta get out of here. So we make our way through the bar, still ever cautious. And we have to clear the front doorway by about 10 feet before we get past the billowing smoke. And all I could think was that, the locals must have had the best story that night. The night that they saw John Lennon and Tom Cruise walk out of a burning building, just like in one of his movies. I found out from John Lennon that the bar was in fact open the very next night. The very next night, the Thai bar was back in business. And I know I can guarantee you that wouldn't be the last time that bar erupted. I can only hope, it's just my little fingers crossed here, that I hope the next time it blows up like that, the last 2 guys out of that bar, one of them looks like Elvis and the other one looks like Bill Clinton, so the locals can have another story. So,